I don't know how this thing works. I hit the go live button on 8 o'clock and it said live streaming is not available and it went dark. What did you see? What did anybody, can you tell me what you see? I wish I could get this working seamlessly. It's a real pain. Anyway, good morning, Debbie. It says, I think it says there are 15, there are 9 people watching, 13 people watching, and 7 likes so far. Thank you so much. Harag in Pasadena, good morning. Patricia, Daryl, and Joshua in Tennessee. And let's see who else is here. And Debbie, who is in, let me think. Oh, Debbie. Oh, Debbie. Oh, my brain. Brian is here from New Jersey. Brian makes it very easy for me because his channel name is Brian's Jersey Garden. You saw what I just did, right? I scratched my eye. That was not a good idea. It's burning now, quite possibly because I got peppermint essential oil in there, because I put peppermint essential oil in my cacao. I just wanted to say I didn't get much sleep last night, everybody, but I'm here. The brain would not go like that and quit. So I got up at 12 or 12:30 and I took a hot bath because I had a lot of aches and pains because Eric and I worked together yesterday for the first time since that last work video, whenever that was in the late bloomer garden. It's got to be 2 months now, right? No, has it been that long? Time, I have no idea about time anymore, what day it is or anything. I do manage to remember my live streams, but that's about it. He did come. We did try to find a working method yesterday. It was very challenging. I mean, it was, when I say it's very challenging, it is very challenging. There's no water out there. We're trying to work in the overhang of the garage, and it's not terribly scenic. Working between 2 cars, even though one of them is my new red Prius, it's not ideal in any way, shape, or form. So it remains to be seen how I can continue. I just don't know, but I hope you enjoy this video. I'm going to edit it today. I mean, I'm promising myself to get it edited today and online tonight for first thing in the morning. When you get up, you'll see it. Let's see. Good morning, Cheryl. I'm glad you were able to tune in today. Robin Latham. I sure have, Robin. Robin, are you new to my channel, or am I just blanking on your name? I mean, your name sounds familiar, but I don't know what we've talked about before, and I don't know where you are and if you have a garden. I did take Bikram yoga for a while, and and if you're bringing that up were you bringing that up because of my back? Because that's a very good observation. When Walker was about, let's see, he's 29 now. So when he was about, let's see, it was from 10 to, he was a junior, Walker was a junior tennis player, and he worked hard enough to get recruited to Stanford on a partial scholarship. So very proud of the effort that he put in as a young person. Anyway, from 10 to 12, they have the national tournament in Tucson. And so for, I don't know if it's 10, 11, 12, or if we did 2 years in Tucson and 12, the 12 to 14 was in Phoenix. I can't remember, but they're in Arizona, the national championships. And so we were down there and they're over Christmas, of course, Christmas and New Year's, 10 days. And every holiday growing up, we were at a tennis tournament. Easter, Christmas, New Year's, Thanksgiving, of course, July 4th, everything. Anyway, I was in Tucson, and we decided to stay at this kind of inexpensive little, can't really call it a hotel, but there was like a room and a little kitchen and a bathroom. It was very, very not fancy. Okay. And we got there and my back was out. My sciatica was killing me, of course, driving over, 8-hour drive over. And I thought, well, what am I going to do for 10 days? And I was just walking down this road because walking is the only thing that seems to help when my sciatica is bad. And right behind this little hotel, there was a little house, someone's house, and they had converted or put part of the house into a Bikram yoga studio. And I went in and I talked to the man, the teacher. I said, my back's, told him about my back and everything. And he said, your back will be better after something like 3 days. Something incredible. And I just thought, yeah, right. Okay. If you say so. And I proceeded to I think I took 1 to 2 classes a day during that 10-day period. And my back was completely great. And I loved it. Now, this was a very different situation. When I came back to LA, I went to the Bikram Yoga Studio on La Cienega. Very different situation. There's Bikram in the studio giving his little lessons in his little black bikini and in his, headphone, microphone thing. And, 100 people in the room, and it's 105, they've got the temperature at 105, and there's all these people. Oh, they're probably out of business right now. Boy, it was a very different situation doing it in that beautiful little studio. He would open the windows afterwards, and it was that desert air, and it was just lovely. And then you come back and do it in the studio here, and it's just whoa. Sorry, what did I miss? Oh, yes, Robin. I do remember you did mention that. I would like to check that out. Permaculture Appalachia. Joshua. Joshua's my new right hand. Joshua, make a note. Is that in Tennessee or where? Did I mention, Daryl, that I have a friend who said I could buy, I think it's 2/3 of an acre near Gatlinburg. It's been in his family for generations. It was his grandfather's property given to his father, and his father sold it to him for $5. And he's never going to live there, and it's never been developed. And he told me about this about 3 weeks ago now, I guess. Permaculture Appalachia. And of course, I have a real fondness for the Smokies. And I thought, I looked at the property on Zillow or whatever you call it. And I mean, I know it's Zillow. I know you call it Zillow. I just don't know if it was Zillow that I looked at. And the property goes up like that, and it's all wooded, undeveloped. And I thought, Gatlinburg changed so much. I mean, I love Dolly Parton, don't get me wrong. And that's her neck of the woods. But, Dollywood just completely changed that whole, when I first went to Gatlinburg and experienced the Smokies, it was a far different place than it became. It became such a little tourist trap. the Gatlinburg Hotel, which is this beautiful stone hotel with this beautiful, huge, big porch with those big are they Airedale? Is that what those big rockers are called, with the big arms? You sit there and you rock and you look out and you got the trees and you're in the mountains. And anyway, you know, my idea about life or whatever, we were going through Gatlinburg many years later, and I looked over. I was looking. It was right on Main Street, right at the fork, and I looked over, and I thought, what happened? The hotel was gone, and you know what was replaced? They kept the clock tower. That was all, and then the rest of it, because it was built on a hillside, they put in an inner tube water park. Yeah, this legendary hotel. They could not find a deep-pocketed buyer to, you know, put in new plumbing, electric, and everything, and make it nice, but preserve its integrity. And so they tore it down, and that should have been against the law. Against the law. It was the landmark. All right, Denise. Hi. Remington Howell. You had one last year, took 5 months to get back in order. Are you talking about your back? I forget what I was talking about now. Good morning, Lisa. How are you feeling? Remington, your side, it was actually in your leg. Are you talking about right here? Like the top of your hip leg? Is that what we're talking about? Are we talking about the same thing? Because that's where my problem is. Starts in the sciatica and it goes down to my left leg, and it's so painful. Are you talking to me, Joshua? My beautiful story. Adirondack chairs. Thank you so much. I knew Airedale wasn't quite right. Jamela, good morning. Oh my goodness. You live in a tropical island and you haven't had rain in months? That's wild. Good morning, Amal. Amal is tuning in from Saudi. What time is it there, and what's the situation like with the virus? What is your government doing? Oh, you're doing better, Lisa. Thank you. Oh, I'm so glad. An hour south of Knoxville. Yeah. Yeah, well, so there's Sevierville, and then, yeah. And then Joshua's an hour north. Well, I don't know if it's an hour north of Knoxville. It's not that far, is it, Joshua? Robin, did I mention a guy? I don't even remember. What guy are we talking about? I don't even know what I was saying. Oh, Harag has got, did I send you loofah seed, or did you get your own loofah seeds, Harag? I don't remember sending you seeds. Maybe I did. Good morning, Matt. I'm going to try to say it the way Matt DeGuyer. Did I say it right? And Andrea, thank you so much for tuning in. And remind everybody where you are, okay? Always, everybody, remind me where you are, because some people are out in other countries, and I always like to keep track of the reach of this channel. Ram Kumar, would you like meditation? I love meditation. I have been, yes, Robin, that's what I thought. Good morning, Steve Mildengren. Say hello to Rosemary. I miss you. I'm going to hopefully see you again soon. Okay, I think I'm caught up. Ram, where are you writing from? And do you have a garden? And how did you find our channel? Because I think this is the first time I've heard from you. I could be wrong. Thank you, Happy, for asking everyone to do this. Robin, obviously you focus on permaculture on your channel. We want to just write one little line about how long you've been doing it and what your focus is. Because if you're in Appalachia, you're definitely doing seasonal gardening. So do you focus more on perennials or annuals or both or what? Let's see. Robin, who are you talking about? What guy? You say you watched a movie on him recently. Did I mention a guy? I don't remember mentioning a guy. Happy is saying it's not enough land for me. Well, I know. And if I was uber rich, which I'm not, I would get that and have just a very perfect little cabin built there on the side of the hill, maybe a little greenhouse, and it wouldn't be my permanent residence. It would just be my mountain getaway. Because turns out, just learned this recently, well, I probably shouldn't say that yet. Anyway, let's just say my son's girlfriend really enjoys hiking, not camping, hiking. And so I thought, well, I had some of my most seminal experiences hiking in the Smokies. So if I had a cabin there, I could entice them to come and stay, and we could go hiking. In fact, my brother, he told me this in 2010 when I was there. I remember I took my sons and we visited he and his wife and in Virginia. And he was saying that he had planned. He works for the Department of Biology in Virginia in the water systems. And if you've watched all of my channel, then you know that, because I have talked about it 2 or 3 times. And he was saying that when he retired, he was going to do the AT. And I thought, well, I didn't just think. I said, oh, I want to do that with you. I said, I don't know if I'm sure I couldn't do it all, but maybe I could do, a week with you, meet you somewhere and do a week with you on the Appalachian Trail. And he said, very nicely, he goes, well, Kaye, my thinking was, this would be kind of my thing that I was going to do, I said, oh, okay. I get it. You don't want company, or you don't want this company. Anyway, I always wanted to do at least a week on the Appalachian Trail. I just thought that would be such an achievement. And I never really thought too much about, even though I've lived out here longer than, have I? Well, I certainly have lived out here longer than I lived in Tennessee, for sure. But I've never really thought about doing the Pacific Crest Trail, because it's such a much different set of, it's much different terrain and predators. So I hadn't thought too much about that. Let's see, where am I? Just chatting on here. Yeah, it is a big tourist area, Happy, but those, once you get in the park, those trails are still there. The mountains are still there. Now, I will say the last time I went, and I did meet my brother there, and I met Guy. Daryl has met Guy. Guy, I drove up with Guy, and my brother drove down from Virginia. We met, and we went up to Clingman's Dome. And Clingman's Dome is one of the peaks that you can drive most of the way up. And then you walk up, and then there's a big concrete observation deck at the top. Now it's illegal to do this, but I'll tell you what, I did it so long ago, they couldn't possibly arrest me now. But my boyfriend and I at the time, we we lived up around there because his father lived in Gatlinburg, and so we decided that it would be really cool to see the sunrise from Klingman's Dome and take our bicycles and ride it all the way down the mountain. And so we did that. And we just took our sleeping bags and we slept on the observation deck, and when it was we saw the sunrise, and then we rode all the way down, and it was awesome. And but at the time, it was so green and beautiful, and oh, just that wonderful forest green, everything. It was just amazing. And so when I went back about, I want to say maybe 5 years, it could be 7 years ago now, I don't remember. We went up there, and all of those evergreens were just dead. The whole top. I was just in shock. So there's so many imported pests have destroyed the native trees in our country. It's just one right after the other: elm, hemlock, you name it. And I forget what this one was, but because I think it's a lot of spruce up there. But anyway, I'm off on a rant. Oh yeah. Well, this would not be in Gatlinburg, but yeah, you're probably right. The traffic's probably terrible. Mm. Well, Robin, you're singing my tune there with the zip line thing. I've only done it once in my life, and I've told you before about that period of time when I was suffering from Karuna S. Where are you writing from, and do you have a garden? Mm. Ooh, I bet that was beautiful, Daryl. Yes, Pat. And they get more challenging as you age. And 10 years ago, it sounded like a great idea. But now, I don't know. Now that I've put all this hard garden work on my body, I don't know if I could handle it. I might be able to handle the walking, the hiking. It's the sleeping on the ground that would kill me. Oh, now I see the connection. There was a Netflix movie on Bikram. I forgot. Okay. Now I understand. Katuna? No. Karuna. Kodiak. Oh, I hope you're still on. I'm sorry I missed you when you said that, but thank you for tuning in for a second, and tune in again, okay? Yeah, no, Daryl. It wouldn't be my main thing. It would just be so cool to have a mountain cabin, I don't know. And how else would he would sell me that property for very little money, and I thought, how else would I ever have a mountain cabin? Yes, Robin, what kind of perennials? Tell us about them. Ah, great. Okay, Harag, I'm so happy. So your Luffa, you spell it differently than I do. I spell it Luffa or Loofa. I think you can also spell it Loufa. I've spelled it all different ways on my channel. I so wish I had some Egyptian spinach growing here. but I think it's too late to start that. I don't know. Who's in Nova Scotia? Maria Gillinson. Oh, yeah. Nova Scotia. Isn't Nova Scotia, where's Nova Scotia in relation to Newfoundland? Because we have our friend Ecocentric from Newfoundland. Where's he? Is he on yet? I just got a notification for my own live stream. My own live stream at 8:27. The live stream started at 8, and I just got a notification 27 minutes later from YouTube. Oh, good. Hey, thank you, Matt. Where are you in Utah? I love Utah. Matt, did you see we talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Did you see my film, The Snow Child, that we filmed up in Utah? If you didn't, you might want to check that out. I'll just mention it again for anyone who missed it. A film that I did in 1997, which won a big award in 1998 in the Heartland Film Festival. We shot up in 8 feet of snow in Utah in 1997. It's 24 minutes long, and it's on Amazon Prime, and it's a family film, and it's called The Snow Child. And it was filmed in pristine 35 millimeter, and a beautiful composer wrote the music. And I'm very proud of that work. And it didn't get seen because it was never digitized until recently. And when you have short films, people don't, unless they go to a film festival, they don't see them, but the director finally got it digitized, and it's on Amazon Prime. So if you haven't seen it, I would really appreciate you go there to Amazon Prime, look it up. And the picture of the little thumbnail you'll see, or looks like little card, is just a girl in the snow, and she's going like this. I think it's the back of her. Anyway, I would really appreciate it if you watched that and left a 5-star review. That would really make my day. And if you do, please let me know you do. Hi, Christina. Oh, Maria, I'm scrolling back down. I am seeing the comments in order. Somebody asked me that last time. They are appearing in order, but I'm scrolling back because I know I miss things when I start talking. And Maria said, I need a sports physiotherapist. Boy, do I need, do I. With this lockdown or stay at home order or whatever, I got an email from my chiropractor, and if you recall, I got a terrible pinched nerve in back in here when I did that trip up to when I drove up the Coal Miners Highway up in Kentucky up to Ashland to do those garden videos up there. And oh my gosh, he got that sorted out after a few visits. And I got an email from his office, and it said that chiropractors are considered, according to the government or whatever, are considered essential services, but he elected to close the office to, just to quell patients' fears and all that stuff. And so I wrote him and I said, I need to see you. And I think I'm going to go see him and try to get this sorted out. But a sports physiotherapist, I've had them before in past. Oh, I know, Maria. I literally, well, it's a long personal story, but anyway, I have a real fondness for for the Smokies and for what Gatlinburg used to be. And when I saw that, just that cheap water park there, it was just like inner tube, a couple of inner tube things coming down. I literally I started bawling in the car, and I cried for like hours. Because it's a travesty to tear down a landmark hunting lodge. That is it's at the signature fork in the road when you get into Gatlinburg. So it was like a landmark. Anyway, I gotta hang on. Let's see. Okay, Teresa Mack, good morning. Yeah, and it's something that I've dealt with for a very long time. Speaking of the Smokies, when my problem started, I believe I want to say I was 21, and I was standing in a stream bed in the Smokies. Daryl, you'll appreciate this. And of course, the water in the Smokies is ice cold. And I was standing, just in a little bit of water, but in the stream bed on, the rocks get a lot of that. It's almost like moss, or it's very slick, algae, moss, whatever that is. And my feet just went out from under me, and I landed on my tailbone on one of those rocks. And the pain was so intense that I was paralyzed with fear, with pain. I couldn't even move for a long time. And of course, I was on my own by that point, and I didn't see a doctor or chiropractor or anything. And I just sort of got over it. And then I proceeded the very next winter to try to learn to ski, because I had never done that. And I kept falling on my hip and my tailbone and everything. And it just, it presented a lifetime of trouble. I cut my finger, in case you're wondering about the Band-Aid. Amal, yes, that must be terrible. And you're in Saudi. I hate to talk about all that, but what happens if somebody is out with these curfews? What actually happens? Do they get arrested or? You have beefsteak and Roma tomatoes growing from trees, Jamila. That just sounds like heaven. I've got to come to your island and see your garden. Yeah, overwatering, Cheryl, is the number one cause of plants to die. Well, Pat, you'll be out there. You'll get out there. Don't worry. I know I'm trying to get caught up. Depends on what the plant is, Cheryl. Some plants can recover from getting cut down, and some can't. Okay. I'm way behind. Okay. Yes, Karuna S. Did you ever say where you're writing from, and if you have a garden? And I know you were talking about Bikram, and I had his book for a while, but he has an enormous ego. At the time. I don't know anything about him now, but at the time, this was long. This was at least 15 years ago. He had a white Rolls Royce parked in the parking lot, when he was at the class. He would very often hold the classes, and he wore a huge Rolex watch and his little black bikini and his headset. Oh, what an ego! Um, well, Matt, I don't know what. I've never seen a packet say I've seen seed packets say that they're good for container planting. I've never seen a seed packet that said they're only for seed for container planting. I would give it a try if you don't want to do it in containers and you have a garden. I would give it a try. What are the veggies? And to answer your question, I don't think there is a difference. I don't know how there could be, unless there's somehow I don't even know how they could do that. Breed them for containers. I mean, how would a seed know whether it's in a container or not? I don't know. That just doesn't make sense. Okay, I'm so behind. Barbara, I am gardening, Barbara, at the moment. I wanted to just mention it's 8:38, everybody. I'm just going to go to 9. I had 3 hours sleep last night. I gardened yesterday with Eric. We repotted, and I talk about this in the video, which I will be editing this afternoon. And so please look for that tomorrow. Watch it, share it, like it. I really have to get some energy going in my channel. I know it's really tough with all this going on, especially with my transition. People go to my channel, they go, "Where's that beautiful garden you had? You don't have it anymore." I'm going to try to make the best of not a great situation. On top of my transition of, losing my garden and coming to at least there is an interesting gardening here, and the people that live in this apartment building appreciate the plants. So that's nice. I think it was yesterday or day before, one of the guys said, "Oh, my girlfriend just loves walking down through Rose Alley," is what I've named the corridor. And so what you do with container gardening is, one of the main things you do is pot up, or you divide plants and do 2. Depends on how the plant propagates. If it propagates by seed or if it propagates under the ground. And like comfrey, it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger under the soil, and it just gets root bound, and then you got to divide the plant, and it's very hardy that way. And there's many plants like that. Cardamom too, which I have here. I have 3 big pots of that. So potting up is a big thing with container gardening, and it's just a big job that you've got to do. You don't have to do it all the time, but you got to do it. And hey, where is Nick Goosen? He didn't tune in today. He's in Venice. He's the guy with the driveway garden. I'm going to try to go see him at some point. Thank you, Joshua. So we did a lot of potting up yesterday because of my back, and it was just helpful to have an extra set of hands here and to help me. And we don't have a water source out back. We set this makeshift area up to work. You'll see in the video, and I'd love your feedback on that. Let's see, where are we? Yeah, Daryl is gardening at every moment, not just the moment, Barbara. Oh, John has posted, Haffy has posted the link to my Snow Child video. So please grab that link if you haven't seen it. Leave a 5-star review. And as I mentioned when I mentioned it before, that I don't know if a film that I did, if acting work that I did all those years ago can help me now. Hey, who knows? If it gets a lot of traction on Amazon Prime, it might. Pat, yeah, I've tried those. In fact, I remember Pat's talking about those those pain patches. I think mine was, was it Tiger Balm? I remember one time, I mentioned Walker's tennis, and I was a tennis mom. Okay, just like a soccer mom and all that. I was a tennis mom, and I would be the one to take him to all those tournaments. And not all the tournaments, but a lot of the tournaments. And there was one he was playing down in Orange County. It was a regional sectional. It was the sectionals, and he was in a match. Sorry, he was in a match, and he had something hurting him in his back. And I just thought, oh my God, what am I going to do? He let me know that he was in pain, and so when they had the 10 minutes between sets, I can't remember if he was up or down in the score, but I ran to the closest Walgreens, I think it was, and I bought one of those patches. And when he had his turnover between sets, I put that on his back, and he got through the second set. And now, I don't remember if he won or not. I can't remember. I did post, I was thinking about my son's tennis, and, because that was such a huge part of our lives. And from his age 8 until 18, well, after, because he went to play tennis for Stanford. And, but be careful what you wish for. He decided at 10 years old he was going to go to Stanford and play tennis. At 10 years old, he came home from a week tennis camp at Stanford, and he said, I'm going to Stanford and play tennis. And I said, oh, okay, and he did. And he did that. Let's see. Okay. Barbara, say hello to your son for me. Oh, Amal, how are you cooking your Egyptian spinach? How are you going to eat that? Wow. Silver-tongued daywalker is our friend from England, our darling friend. Oh. That sounds wonderful. Silver-tongued daywalker, can you just tell us your first name? It would be so much easier. I think Egyptian spinach is just like any other annual, Christina, because I remember that, when I got the seeds from Jack Davis in Phoenix, I seeded it when I seeded everything else in January or February. And then I planted it out in April, and it was big by August, and it was gone by September, probably. The leaves fall off, it goes to seed, it makes these beautiful seed pods, gorgeous. In fact, I have a video. I would love for you to watch this video. I don't think many people saw it. And I did a video. It was kind of a risky kind of video because there was no talking. It was just a mood piece. I'm a filmmaker by first, and then a gardener second. And I made this video. Let's see, this is going back years. See all. Come on. Show all. Okay. On this tiny little laptop that just, what? Keep going. Rows per page 30. Oh, here it is. Saving seeds. I loved this video. See if you like it, everybody. It's called Saving Seeds Meditation. And I even listed the music. I use, if I say this right, Claude Debussy. See if you enjoy this video. Grab that URL, guys. Okay. Oh, Egyptian. Are you talking about the Egyptian walking onion, Pat? I grew that one time. I got that from Sharon at Sharon's Natural Gardens in Delaware, and she may actually be selling that on her website. Not her website, but she sells through localharvest.org, Sharon's Natural Gardens. But I got Egyptian walking onions from her, and I really enjoyed. I only did it 1 year, and see if she has some. Fari, Fari is in. Are you? Wait, are you in Pakistan, or have I got that? Have I got you mixed up with somebody? Okay, it's 8:47. We got 13 minutes. Has anybody got any burning questions for me? My gosh, Jack, are you kidding me? Maryland? I can't believe it. That's, I better not say what I think that is. Let's see. Well, I don't know Christina, what's going on with that, because our governor just recently closed all the beaches and parks, which, I mean, I thought we were making progress, and then I hear that. I see I'm way behind. I'm going to really try to say hi to everybody. Hi, Tracy. GTA, what is your actual name and where are you writing from? Thank you for tuning in here. Yes, we call Daryl the bamboo guy. Selena Ramirez is in, I want to say, not Brooklyn, not the Bronx, Queens. Are you in Queens, Selena? And you have 150 plants in your apartment? Oh my gosh. Oh, that's terrible, Cheryl. I'm sorry. Thank you, Connie. Good morning. Hey, Rebecca, where you been? Oh, wait. Where's Doris? Thank you, Pat Lucking. I really appreciate you saying that. I do try to inspire, and I've tried to. I was thinking about it this morning. I really tried to not dwell on the negative. I could so easily do that. Dwell on what I've lost, and you know, I'm just trying to make the best of the situation that I have right now. And if I can inspire anybody else, because going forward, I mean, there may be food shortages. We just don't know what's ahead of us. This economy, we're in trouble. And I saw a video this week about cattle farmers. My son is in the grass-fed cattle business, and they're ordering farmers to destroy their cattle that are ready for harvest. Meanwhile, we're importing beef from Namibia, and the beef is not labeled. So we're trying to get origin of beef, or origin of, I forget how it's called, but you can easily Google that. And then somebody yesterday sent me a video, which is actually from 4 years ago, but she sent it to me because she knows how I feel about organic food and everything. And this was a news story about Whole Foods. And I used to shop at Whole Foods for a decade, and I don't really anymore. For not for this reason, because I wasn't even aware of it, but the frozen foods like the frozen organic vegetables packets, like frozen chunks of broccoli or frozen veggie blend or something like that. You look on the back in very fine print at the very bottom, it says product of China. And we cannot guarantee organic standards of anything coming from there. So make sure you check your labels and know where your food comes from. That's all I can say. Yeah, Matt. I mean, really, really. No, I only want to be in a pot. No, don't put me in the ground. No, no. Seeds don't say that. And I don't know how you could I don't know how you could genetically modify a seed to only do well in a confined space. I mean, it makes no sense. Oh, Gina, I'm so sorry about that. I will, Barbara. Next time I see him. GTA. There are. We did 3 videos and a live stream when I first met Daryl, and then I did another one in the fall last year. So be sure and go back and watch all 4 of those, because you can see his garden in the spring and the fall. I know Daryl wants me to see it in the summer. It just didn't happen last year because I had my own garden to deal with. Uh, let's see. Okay, let me see if I'm getting caught up. I don't know if I am. I said hi to Tracy. I've heard about that, Joshua, but I haven't tried that, and I don't know where they do that. I'm sure they probably do that here somewhere. Mm. Why couldn't you write a review, Debbie? Why wouldn't they let you write a review? I think there's some stipulation you have to have. Do you have to have a Amazon Prime account? Some people couldn't even see it without having an Amazon Prime account. Okay, so Doris Marquez is in Puerto Rico, and you had an earthquake and you were not affected, and I'm so happy. Daryl is recommending Bamboo for Gardens by Ted Jordan Meredith if you're interested in growing bamboo. Cherie Cadena is in Austin, Texas. And I think, Cherie, we've talked about getting together if and when I ever get back to Austin, right? I was supposed to go to Austin in April. That didn't happen. Oh, I love Rose of Sharon. I love that. That's a hibiscus plant, right? The hibiscus, there's so many varieties of hibiscus. It's just unbelievable. And when, Barbara, I don't know if you've seen that video I did with the video. Let's see, did I do more than one? Well, at least one with Angie in Ashland, Kentucky. When I was at her place, her Rose of Sharon was blooming, and when you've got space, you can really let these bushes grow out, and it's just amazing. Have a great day. Tasnima. I've got 4 minutes. Oh, hey, Kevin. Have you been here for a while? And I missed you? I'm going to try to stick to an hour today. I had 3 hours sleep last night, and I got to edit that video today. Tasnima Abreri, tell us where you're writing from. And thank you for noticing. This is a Kurti that was given to me along with, I think she sent me at least 3, maybe 4. And this is from Mumbai Balcony Gardener. I have not heard from her in a while. I think that everybody's in different situations in the world right now, and I really should check on her. But she sent me these at least a couple of years ago, I think, and she went out of her way to buy colors that that she thought would look pretty on me. I don't know if you can see it that well, but it's got this beautiful. And she actually bought the kurti, and then she bought the trims separately, and she went to her dressmaker and had the trims added along the edges. It's kind of blown out from the sun there. Sorry about that. Maybe you can get a better look over this way. No, it still looks very bright. Oh, well, hope you got an idea. And I just, I was very impressed that she went to the trouble to do all that. And it's no different from other people sending me their homemade salve. I can't wait to make some of this on my own. This is comfrey salve that was sent to me by Olive along with these little stars. You'll notice I keep wearing these. It's like I'm trying to. Oh, that's wonderful, Gina. Oh, good, Barbara. So, Tasnima, did you tell me where you're? Lynn. Silver Tongue Daywalker is Lynn. I'm going to try to remember that. Oh, that's wonderful, Cherie. Do you have a place for the tomatoes to grow up, or are you doing determinate tomatoes? Jack? Let's see. Bass Finder 68. What is your name and where are you located? What to use to plant tomatoes on my balcony? A 5-gallon plastic bucket is not big enough. You need at least 7-gallon buckets. But if all you've got is 5, you can see what happens. And I would not use regular dirt. I would use potting soil that's been enriched with some kind of nutritious, compost or something. I wouldn't use just, I wouldn't. First of all, you don't just dig up regular dirt out of your yard and put it in a pot and try to grow tomatoes. Because it could be very heavy clay soil, you don't know. And once you put clay, heavy clay soil in a pot and you try to grow something, the roots get wet and you won't have success. You need good drainage, in other words. So you need to, the best thing is to start. Tomatoes, heirloom tomatoes get so many diseases on their own. Even in the best case scenario, when you do everything perfectly, they still get all this stuff. So if you start out with really good potting soil with good drainage, and you use a good organic slow release fertilizer, and you add some azomite, and you enrich that, because tomatoes are heavy feeders, just like corn. You've got to give them a lot of food and nutrition. And so that's either comes in the form of compost, azomite. All these azomite is an earth mineral. All these things really add to the success of your tomatoes. And but number one, you want good drainage. And number two, you want to water deeply but infrequently. Tomatoes do not want to be watered every day. Now, if you're in, I forget where you are. Oh, I don't know where you are. If you're in Arizona, it's 105 and it's 110. You may have to do something like that. But if you're in a regular climate that's, 85 or 90 degrees, you're not going to want to water your tomatoes every day. So there's a lot to learn. And I have a whole growing tomatoes playlist. I hope you'll go to my homepage of my channel, hit playlists, look down through my playlist, and go to that growing tomatoes, and you'll learn a lot. Grandmother of 13. It's just unbelievable, Lynn. And Bass Finder 68. 5 gallons is really cutting it close. They really need more, because you're really going to have to prune that thing to keep it under control. You're going to have to top it, and you're going to have to prune the suckers, because 5 gallons is just not enough to support a huge, a tomato plant could just get like that if you let it, if it's doing well. Haffy's talking about bamboo, walking onions. I'm sorry about the buffering. Tomatoes need nutrition. Yes, so Kevin is breaking it down for us in Big Wave, Florida. Bone meal, blood meal, Epsom salt. Do you put Epsom salt in your mix, or do you actually water it in? Let's see. Yes, determinants absolutely do better in buckets, but I never grow determinants. I did the very first year, and I'll never do it again. And cherry tomatoes. Well, gosh, I just should have seen your comment before I went off on that tomato thing, Kevin. You covered it all. Good morning, Lori. It's time for me to get off. Where have you been? I've been waiting for you. Right, Cherie. Exactly. Let's see. Vegetable gardening. What's your name and where are you writing from? And thank you so much for joining my channel. I hope you subscribed, hit the like button, and if you go to my my homepage and click on playlists and scroll down, you'll see all my tomato videos, and you'll learn a lot. Hey, Charlene in Bali, how are you? What? Charlene, what are you saying? You watched my video at the gardening channel with James? No, that can't be right. Please tell me what you mean. Yeah, the only thing about shade cloth is if you have a lot of wind, you got to really secure those things. But otherwise, definitely. Where is he hasn't tuned in a while, and this happens a lot is people get, as their channel grows, they tune in a lot at first, and then as their channel grows, they get so busy on their channel that I don't hear from them. But the guy in the Valley in Phoenix, William at, oh goodness, what's his name? William at something Homestead. I'm sorry. He put up a big shade cloth to cover his backyard garden. Yes, Steve Rogers. Good morning. Yes. What is the definitive pronunciation? Maybe Rebecca is still here and she can tell me. Rebecca's our resident scientist. Is it mycorrhizae or mycorrhiza? I used to say, this is so weird, I used to say mycorrhizae, and I think that's the wrong way to say it, and I think mycorrhiza is the way you're supposed to say it. But I just did that yesterday with mine. I used MycoGrow from fungi.com, and I watered in after we got them planted, because it helps them find more nutrients. And supposedly it's supposed to help them fight off diseases, which get so much. Vegetable gardening. I have Northern Sweden, GTA. What is your actual name, GTA? I'm going to write it down. I don't know if I'll remember, but Northern Sweden. I have a friend in Sweden. He's the former owner of Late Bloomer Garden 1.0 property. And, oh, Ray in the south coast of the UK. Okay, hey, Ray. I have a lot of people that tune in from the UK at various times, and I'm so glad to hear from you. And I hope you'll tune in again. I'm trying to keep these down to an hour now because I was getting to where I was going off. Yeah, this is the best one I can find, Edwin, and I'm glad to hear from you. How is your hip? Ed said he fell off of a ladder and broke his hip. Now, this comes right after him getting over the coronavirus. So, I mean, you've really had a hard time, Edwin, and I've been thinking about you. 200 tomato seedlings ready for potting. 200 tomato seedlings ready for potting up. I wish I could get over there, Edwin. I would help you do that. Earth boxes for tomatoes. What are you considering an earth box, Kevin? Because I'm not really that familiar with it. And no, I'm not familiar with honeysuckle in tree form, Daryl. Honeysuckle is a luxury only people with a lot of space can have. But I love the smell of it. Mark, GTA is Mark in northern Sweden. Thank you for tuning in, Mark. And I'm going to be getting off soon because, yeah, what's an earth box? Please tell us quickly. 60 tomato plants, Happy. Wow. Oh, what did Lori say? Did she rescue a kitten? I know it. Today we're really onto tomatoes. Tomatoes, you could talk for hours about tomatoes. I'm going to look up Earthbox. I don't know if that's something that I could use here because, I mean, literally you'll find out from this video that there's no more space in Rose Alley. There's no more extra space. So unless I talk somebody into eliminating something. Oh, Shirlene. Okay. Thank you. That did happen to me once. Hey, Eric, from Double Dog Farm. Shirlene, one time I was contacted by a friend who's a content creator, garden well, I'll just say Patrick from One Yard Revolution. He said, "Did you know that such and such?" I don't remember his name. Yeah, I do remember his name. I won't say it. Is using our videos on his website. And I said, no. And so he was gonna go after him, and did. And because if people are taking my content and putting it on their channel, then they're getting money for the work that I do, and or he did or whatever. So we don't like that. It's called stealing. I will look them up, Kevin. Bottom watering system. Interesting. I did not. Is the gardening channel with James Prigioni actually watching this? Are you there, James? If you are, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much. I don't think I've heard from you before. Let's see. It's too late for me though. I just planted mine on just regular pots yesterday. I'm pretty sure I'm subscribed to your channel, James. And as I was saying earlier, we get that's fantastic. Thank you so much for tuning in. Um, I don't know if you followed my situation at all, James, but I had a house and a garden where I started gardening in 2012. I started it. I don't know when you started, but I think I was one of the first people to do that. And I couldn't even find a gardening channel on YouTube at the time as an example of what to do. And because I come from a filmmaking background, I wanted it to look like a show, and that's just was what I wanted. And of course, I didn't know how YouTube was going to evolve. Nobody did. And so I was there for 8 years, and I had to sell my house, and so I had to have a landing place, and so my landing place is an apartment, and so I have sort of a community area where we're doing container gardening, and I'm going to be here. And then, of course, as soon as I got in here on March 16th, yeah, and the stay-at-home thing happened the very next week, so I haven't had any help mounting things and building shelves, and so it's still a mess, and I'm also trying to continue my channel. So please, James, if you would, I would really, really be grateful. Would you please watch my UCLA botanical garden video that I just did a couple of videos ago? It's really a beautiful place, and I think it would give a lot of solace to a lot of fearful people. I hate to say fearful people, but people are very stressed out about all this that's going on. And you can just sit back with a cup of tea and just enjoy. I don't know if you use Epidemic Sound Library. That's what I use. And I try to make my videos, put a lot of music, and so that they're a respite to go to. Anyway, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm honored. Let's see. Whoa! I just think if I had a Cherokee purple tomato that got 15 feet tall, I would also call it Godzilla. Boy, am I behind. You guys, I hope you're keeping up with all these. Eric at Double Dog Farm shared a Dutch bucket hydroponic tomato video. Oh, James, thank you so much. I really appreciate. Oh, thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, you guys are talking bamboo. Okay, I don't know my bamboo. Mullen. I want mullen, Daryl. Shoot, you said it's biannual. I really would like biannual. Vegetable garden, what is the perfect outdoor tomato? Well, first of all, they're all outdoor, unless you have a really great greenhouse. And it really depends on where you're located, your climate and things. I mean, if you asked 10 people what their favorite tomato was, they would probably 5 or 6 of them would say the Cherokee purple. It's just a tomato that's really hard to beat in flavor, juiciness, texture. It's just it's luscious, and the color is rich, sort of reddish purple inside, and you can't really beat it. You could start there. If you're starting, though, I would I might go with a determinate tomato until I got my feet wet, and because indeterminate tomatoes just keep growing, and so there's the whole pruning aspect that you have to know about, and all that. So we can talk more about tomatoes, or you can check out my tomato playlist. Joshua, I don't know what you're what you're talking about. We'll talk later, and I'll find out why you've got all those angry faces there. Yes, a lot of people love sun gold, and I would say sun gold, purple Cherokee. A lot of people like green zebra. My favorite tomato that I've grown has to be, in terms of success, Aunt Ruby's German Green. It's absolutely delicious, juicy, beautiful texture. Let's see. And James is saying sun gold is his favorite. I think sun gold would be in the top 5 of so many people. A lot of people talk about sun gold. Oh, is that why you were asking about the honeysuckle flowers? Well, those sound like wonderful varieties, Steve, but not too many people. I haven't heard of either one of those. Barry's Crazy Cherry and Napa Chardonnay Blush. Chocolate cherry is a big, We'll talk to Charlene. Talk to Jamila. Are you still there? Vegetable gardening. Sun gold is great. Those are they're prolific, juicy, great flavor, grow fast. I think they're pretty reliable. Charlene, I would talk to Jamila. She's in Trinidad and Tobago. She has a fabulous garden. I haven't heard of that one, James. Rose de Bern. I haven't heard of that one. Faye David. Thank you so much. Faye is recommending. I did a retrospective. I don't know if anybody saw it. I'd love it if you did watch it. If you really want to get an idea of what I've done here. All right. See, I'm not over it. I'm not over it. I keep referring to here as my late bloomer garden 1.0. Let's see if retrospective, yeah, that brings it up. I'm going to grab this link for you and share it. I would love for you to watch this because this gives you an idea of how I developed my garden and what it became. Now I'm gone, but there we go. That's from the origin to now. Now meaning then, when I made it, which was a few months ago. And I went back and I just showed, I just had a regular little garden. A little yard with grass, a couple little trees, little bushes right around the house, and the pine tree. The pine tree came with the house, and it was very distinctive the way it was. It was almost like a bonsai, the way it had been trained. And it was much smaller, of course, when we bought the house in '94. And it grew into this big pine tree. Thank you so much. Faye, can you remind everybody where you are? I know you're a fan. Everglades. Who recommended Everglades? I've never heard of Everglades tomatoes. Impossible to kill. I gotta get some of those. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, and Vegetable Garden says Alicane, Gardener's Delight, Roma, and Marmonade. I don't know that. But there's so many. Tomatoes. My favorite paste tomato is Amish paste. And I had so many diseases over there. And what I found We can do a whole live stream on tomatoes. In fact, let's do that next time because we're getting into the season. Let's just make the whole live stream about tomatoes. But what happened to me over there, and I'll sign off after I make this point, is I feel like the spores from mildew. I didn't have any, when I started that first year. I didn't have any, and so that 2013, 2014, 2015, I had so many tomatoes, and I didn't have that many diseases. And of course, that whole front area was planted in tomatoes. My orange tree was still small; it wasn't casting a shadow, so I had a lot of room to work around that. I didn't have the 2 fig trees. As I developed that front yard more into a perennial, a food forest, I started with 1 fig tree. Eric, I don't know if you're still on Double Dog Farm. Eric sent me a Desert King fig, the best fig I've ever eaten. And I had never really eaten figs until I started growing them, oddly enough. And when I first started eating the brown turkey figs, which I bought that tree, I think I got that tree at the Armstrong Nursery here. They were huge, huge figs. So I thought, okay, well, this is what a fig tastes like. It's pretty good, Needs a little olive oil and some goat cheese and some cracked pepper, and then it becomes a real treat. Put it on a cracker, but you get one of those Desert King figs when it's perfectly ripe. You pop that in your mouth, and you feel like you just, it's a little slice of heaven in your mouth. Anyway, he sent me that little tree, and it was in a pot for a while. Didn't do much. And then I got it in the ground, and I put it right beside the other fig tree. Now, fig trees can get huge. And so 2 fig trees in that little front yard, plus the orange tree got bigger. Lemon tree really never got that much bigger. But then I had the pineapple guavas, and so it really became more of a perennial fruit tree forest. I didn't have room for all those tomatoes anymore. I used to grow like 40 to 45 tomato plants. And, by the time I got towards the end, the last couple of years, I wasn't able to grow nearly that many. Didn't have the sun. But if there's if there's an Everglades tomato that's impossible to kill, I got to try it. Gina says, Kaye, I've got, every time I scroll up, so you're in South Sweden. Faye is in South Sweden, and Mark at GTA is in North Sweden. That's fantastic. How interesting. Yes, the Amish paste, that's an old variety, James. And I got the original seeds I got from, I talk about her a lot if you've watched my channel, Sharon at Sharon's Natural Gardens. She's one of these people that, she's in her, I think, early 70s now, and she's trying to hold this whole place together. She's got 5 acres, and she's sort of surrounded by commercial factory chicken farms and all of that. And she's got this precious 5 acres of incredible soil. She's growing biodynamically, although she can't be certified, so she can't say that. But she's got 2 white horses that produce horse manure, and she's doing her preparations, and she's making biodynamic compost, and she's got black walnut trees, and she makes tinctures. And I mean, it's just amazing. And if you've watched me for a while, when I first started vlogging and first started editing my own videos, I did it on my phone, so they're not that great quality, but I did that whole trip on my videos on my phone. And I think that I did at least 4 videos at her place in the 3 days I stayed there. And, it's the kind of place you would want to just go and soak up knowledge. She knows so much. We need to cherish what our elders can teach us, because we need, especially now, and I probably should end on this grand point, because I am 26 minutes over when I said I was going to sign off. But we have to, I've said this before and I'll say it again, we got to preserve the knowledge that our elders know and can hand down and teach us about growing our own food, and taking our own responsibility for our food security, which means saving seeds, like Kevin is talking about. He's growing heirloom seeds and he's saving his seeds. And he's going to be moving to another property where he can have even a bigger garden and produce more food, and I'm sure teach and share the knowledge. And we can't let this go. It is so important. And both of my grandparents, grandmothers did the garden. The fathers did. One of my grandfathers had a small dairy, and but he was a gentleman farmer, as they called it, because he had a business. But I came from that, and then we sort of missed it. My father was a businessman. We lived in town, and we didn't really have vegetables growing or any. I didn't learn anything about gardening. Nothing about gardening growing up. All I did, I just benefited, because I'd go to my grandparents and she would just open the freezer and it would just be like, what do you want today? Squash, corn, beets, this thing, that thing. I don't know if she had beets in the freezer, but every kind of bean and pea and the Southern cooking was just, and she'd have dried tomatoes on the back porch, and she had sauerkraut in her cellar, and she made her own grape juice, and of course she had her own cow, so you'd open the refrigerator and there'd be a gallon of milk sitting there with 2 inches of fat on the top. And I thought, that's weird. I usually drink it out of this box that says whatever. If I had just been older, so I could have, learned from my grandparents. But that didn't happen. So I'm playing catch up, and that's why my channel is called Late Bloomer. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. I'm going to try to, Tracy, I'm sorry I didn't, yes, figs I found are very, very easy to grow. And once the fig beetles find your figs, you're going to have your challenges keeping them off of those. Good luck, Faye. I'm so pleased that you tuned in from Sweden. San Marzano. Let's see. Yeah, you're in a vegetable garden. You're in the UK. You're not in a tropical environment. He's recommending a tomato to you that does really well in Florida. They have a tropical environment. That may not be the tomato for you. Have a great day, James. I'm honored you tuned in, and I'll be sure and check out your channel very soon. Thank you, Joshua. Everybody have a wonderful week. Justine. Thank you, Justine. I don't remember you, Justine. So thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in again. The next live stream is 4:00 Wednesday. As long as we're in this, stay-at-home thing, we're going to continue doing a live stream at 4:00 on Wednesday. It's like a midweek check-in, and you can check in. Hopefully, Kevin can tune in. He's in Florida. He's very, very knowledgeable. You'll learn a lot from Kevin at Big Wave Florida, Big Wave Fla. And Linda Holmes. That's wonderful, Linda. Tune in on Wednesday so we can connect again and talk more. Bye, Steve, Laurie. We're getting off. God bless everybody. Please watch my other. I love you, Lisa. Take care, Charlene. Take care. You are part of a great community, Charlene, and I really appreciate you contributing. So, Daryl, thanks so much. Faye, Lisa, have a great week, everybody. And thank you so much. God bless you. I love you. And thank you so much for supporting this channel. Please share it with your friends, help it grow. And I'll see you on Wednesday. And you'll see me tomorrow in a new video. Have a great week.